Hey everyone, this video is sponsored by the beautiful people over at Outplayed. Outplayed is the ultimate video capturing app for gamers. That's us. While playing, Outplayed automatically captures your biggest plays and best moments in game. It also gives you the ability to manually record games or record in-game highlights, which is super helpful if you're trying to get into content creation. Once your match is done, you could flip through your clips and show off the ones you want to e-boys and e-girls that you're trying to impress alike. So one more gigantic shout out to Outplayed. Thank you guys for sponsoring the video. Be sure to download it with my link in the description so you can relive the moments of all of your best games. Boom. All right, let's get into the video. Now, some of you may not know this, but I actually made a video like this before. 5 years ago. In fact, it's one of the first League of Legends videos I ever made. Before Can We Talk About This, before Say to the Zir, there was a top 5 most annoying skills in League of Legends video. And it came out on August 26th of 2015. It was a much simpler time back then. Every character didn't have a dash, the world wasn't about to implode on itself, and most importantly, I looked good as hell. What the fuck happened? So I figured that today we should take a look at the game again, in all of its overpowered and unbalanced glory, so that we can see the current top 5 most annoying abilities in League of Legends as of 2020. And who knows, if the world is still intact and the game is still around, we might do this again in 5 years. Before we even start this list, I want to show you guys the list that I came up with in 2015. You ready? Look. You see that shit? Those don't even come close to anything we have today. So, without further ado, let's get started. First, let's do some honorable mentions because these aren't going to make the list, even though they are kind of annoying. Veigar and Syndra Ultimate are really annoying, but since they technically have to land a combo for those ultimates to be effective, I'm not going to put them on the list, even though there is no counterplay to it. Kiona Invis and Akali Invis being over 5 seconds completely counters all the auto attackers in the game, but I understand that I hate those abilities, especially because I main people like Tryndamere and Jax and Yi, so I'm not going to put them on the list because I know that that's bias. And of course, one of the most recommended in the last video, Fizz's E. A lot of people hate this ability, and rightfully so, but since he technically has to use it to deal damage to you and therefore has no escape after, I'm not going to put it on the list because it's kind of a high risk, high reward thing. I do get that it is annoying. Okay, let's get into it. Number 5. Set's W was probably the most insane ability in the game upon release. But then they nerfed the poor boy into the ground and then cremated him because they realized they couldn't put him into a pop star skin. Unfortunately, even with 57 nerfs tacked onto this 100% grade A man beef, this skill still manages to make the list. But interestingly enough, it's not about the ability itself, it's because of what the ability allows Set to do. In teamfights, hitting Set is a promise of bad things to come. Because every single time you whiff a skill shot or misclick and hit this guy, his W is going to be hurting you and your friends a lot more. And since it's so massive, this immediate karma is practically guaranteed. It's basically a free Thornmail, except instead of this Thornmail scratching you a little bit when you hit him, it blows up your hometown with everyone you love still there. Which puts you in a sticky situation whenever you're team fighting against a Set. Do you waste abilities on Set to get him away and charge his W? Or do you ignore Set and then let him get into position to get an AoE stun off and then an AoE burst? It's completely a lose-lose. Number 4. Now, this might be kind of biased, but if you've played any playmaking champions consistently, I think you'd agree with me. Cassiopeia's W is the worst feeling in the game as a mobile champion. Imagine being fed. Bases are loaded, you have your red trinket going so you know they don't see you, you jump in and boom, all of your shit don't work. You can't flash, you can't jump, and you have to slowly walk out of this fucking path of death that she set for you before you could even contemplate escaping. And late game, it's an 80% slow, meaning walking out of it is gonna take you a minute. Honestly, if an enemy Cassiopeia has a low double-digit IQ, she could completely counter half the roster in the game with this ability alone. Miasma? More like me ass dead. Honestly, I just wish that Cassiopeia carried a mirror with her so that we can at least see how fucking dumb we look before we die. Number 3. There are a lot of traps in the game. I mean, Jhin has traps, Nidalee has traps, playing Udyr is a trap because he's fucking ass. But out of all the traps in the game, there's only 5, by the way, I looked it up. Out of all the traps in the game, the most annoying trap by far would have to be Shaco boxes. Shaco boxes. Shaco traps are the most annoying trap in the game. Sure, Teemo shrooms hurt more, but the fact that Shaco boxes have a lower CD and fear you for 1.5 seconds, I promise you're going to be getting cucked by these bad boys way more than you want to. Not to mention that Shaco's insanely mobile, meaning he can constantly get into position to put these exactly where you don't want them to be. Paired with the stealth, his blink, the buff that makes the boxes hit multiple targets, you're going to be dealing with these little guys a lot in every single game against a decent Shaco. And I know this doesn't technically count as the same ability, but after the Shaco buff that made his ult explode into 3 more boxes and instantly fear you for 1 second, I can't really imagine a lot of people disagreeing with me and saying that this is one of the worst abilities to deal with. Number 2. You know, crazily enough, I thought the higher I got on this list, the more polarizing it was going to be, but that's not the case. I don't think there's a single person on Earth that is okay with Zoey's bubble. Getting hit by this bubble as a squishy target is almost a guaranteed death sentence. This ability gradually slows you for 1.4 seconds. In those 1.4 seconds, while slowed, you have to find a way to get yourself to safety or behind someone who loves you very, very much because Zoey is throwing a max range Q at you. And then after the 1.4 seconds, you're asleep for 2.25 seconds. It's an ability that will catch out and burst high priority targets without ever putting Zoey in trouble in the first place. Paired with the fact that it has an 8-second cooldown and for some fucking reason can travel through walls, as a squishy character, Zoey will always be the bane of your existence. And number 1. This one is going to kind of break the rules of the list, okay? And I know it's going to break the rules of the list, but I don't care because it has to be said. Number 1 is Yumi. Not her Q, not her W, not her E, not her ultimate, Yumi itself. Because Yumi isn't a character at all. She is a tumor that gives any other champion 4 extra abilities and the reign to do whatever the fuck they want. Her harass is ridiculous, her sustain is impeccable, her ultimate is insane, and now attach that shit to a fucking Master Yi, or a Jax, or an Irelia, or any other hyper carry in the game. I don't think there's a single person on Earth that likes going against Yumi. If you're a Yumi main and you're offended by this opinion, then I'm sorry. If anything, you could just alt and tab the video like you do in your ranked games and come back when the flame is over. My problem with Yumi is that she doesn't need to do well. She doesn't need to play well. She doesn't need to play at all. If there is one person on her team doing above average, she will turn them into a fucking god. She has practically no margin of error for her ability to influence games. And I honestly believe that she was created by the Illuminati to give people a character that they can dominate with without learning anything about the game at all. Honestly, it feels like a dev at Riot created this character so that he can enjoy playing League of Legends with his 6-year-old son. In short, get Yumi out of the game or I'm going to shit my pants and cry. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoy it, like it, show it to your friends. If it pops off, who knows, we'll do more stuff like this. I'm enjoying making just whatever content I want, and it's easy to do it in my new place, so I'm actually very happy right now. Now that we moved into a new place, we're going to be making a ton of content, so go follow my socials, go follow my Twitter. I think I'm the most active there. I have a TikTok, believe it or not, and I actually do a lot of stuff on it. So here's another TikTok. Watch that. I love you. Have a good day. Look, normally I don't believe in like conspiracy theories because a lot of them are so dumb and outlandish, right? But recently I read about something called the Mandela effect, which is we remember things a lot differently than what actually happened. And the Mandela effect is when a lot of people remember something, but it turns out it was never true, right? And in this case, I bought a copy of Mario Kart 64 from a game store, right? I bought a copy of Mario Kart 64. And I remember Yoshi being a part of the playable roster, right? Look at this, look, watch, right here. So boom, first thing, Yoshi's not on the title screen, all right? I remember him being on this title screen, but I thought, okay, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I remember the title screen differently. But check this out, watch, boom, Mario GP, 150cc, cool, watch, look at this, look at this. Who the fuck are these guys? Oh, and before I go, twitch.tv/ScoochLive. We're going to be playing a lot of games on there real soon. I just got to fix my internet. Okay, that's it. All right, awesome. Love you.